Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am so happy to have you with me today. On today's video, I want to talk to you about something that is interesting and also very important. Something that you must have experienced as a writer. And that is called fears of writing. Okay, fears of writing. Now, most writers experience fears, okay, and this fear can prevent them from actually writing and writing a good piece. So now I want to talk to you about fears of writing, what can cause fear, and also how to overcome those fears you have for writing. Now let's start with um what can actually cause, what are the things that can make a writer to be scared of writing. Now a writer can be scared of quite a number of things, and some of those things are people's judgment. He'll be scared of what will people think when they see my work. He'll be scared of the reviews that people will give to his or her work. So because of that, a writer might not actually write or write as good as he ought to write. A writer can also be scared of rejection. Okay, the fear of rejection. What if the publisher does not accept his work? What if people do not want to buy his book? Okay, so that fear can also make a writer not to write. Now another fear we have is a lack of, should I say, belief or confidence in their skills to write or ability to write. Now a writer can be scared that his ability or his skill of writing might not be good enough. Okay, he feels like he cannot do it as well as those people outside do it. So for that reason, he or she can be scared of writing. Okay, we have also another fear of writing that is called graphophobia. Okay, graphophobia. Now this fear of writing is like an irrational fear that is caused by writing, okay, especially handwriting. Like someone is extremely scared of writing with his hand. Okay, so that is graphophobia. We also have what we call scriptophobia. This fear happens when a person is scared of writing in public. Like he or she cannot write in public. Okay, that fear is called scriptophobia. Okay, so this scriptophobia and graphophobia are, more extreme fears of writing. Okay, now let's look at what can cause someone to have scriptophobia or graphophobia. Now a lot of things can cause or result in scriptophobia or graphophobia, but two major things are genetics. Yeah, genetics and also environment. Okay, so these two factors are the major things that cause someone to have either scriptophobia or graphophobia. Now let's look at how to overcome fears. Okay, now we've looked at some things that can cause someone or a writer to be scared. Now let's look at how to overcome, those fears. Now the first thing that a writer has to do to overcome his or her fears, okay, is to understand the fear and face it. So a writer has to understand, what is the root cause of my fear? What am I actually scared of? Okay, what am I actually afraid of? A writer has to understand the root cause of his or her fear. So when a writer understands what, is the cause of his or her fears, then he or she has to face those fears. So for example, if I am scared of people's judgment, people's review on my work, okay, now I have understood what my fear is. Now I have to face that fear. How do I face that fear? By doing the exact thing that I'm scared of. So if I'm scared of what people will say, what reviews they will leave from my book, then I have to actually write my book and put it out there to see those reviews myself. So now when I face my fears, the more I face my fears, the more I do those things that I'm scared of. Okay, with time, those fears will no longer be there anymore. So if I'm scared, for example, of talking in public, I have to actually begin to talk in public for me to kill that fear completely. So the more I face that fear, the better I am. Okay. And gradually with time, that fear will no longer be there. So the number one thing you should do to overcome your fear is to understand that fear and face it head on. And the next thing to do is therapy. Okay. Some extreme cases like scriptophobia and graphophobia might call for therapy. Okay. So if you observe that okay you have any of those two fears, then you should see a therapist. Okay. And the next thing that you can do to overcome your fears is to take breaks when writing gets difficult. So if you're writing and then it's becoming a bit difficult or a bit hard, maybe you're experiencing writer's block, okay, you should take a break. Like, go off writing for a while. Go do something else, okay, something, completely different. And then when you get back, you're, refreshed, and then you have a more open mind to write. So take a break when writing gets difficult. Yeah, and before I move on, let me tell you that I already made a video on writer's block and how to deal with writer's block. So check out that video also. I shared a lot on writer's block and how to deal with writer's block. So the link to that video will be in the description. Okay. Now the next thing that you can do to help you overcome your fears for writing is to draw inspiration from writers that you admire. Okay. Now, as a writer, you should have one or two other writers that you admire that are successful, and then you admire them. So you might want to look at those writers, study their lives, okay, see how they're able to become this successful or that successful. So draw inspiration from other writers that you admire. That will help you to deal with your fears. Okay. With that, you know that you are not the only one experiencing this or experiencing that. People around the world have experienced those things and come out of those things. So draw inspiration from writers that you admire. Okay. Another way that you can deal with your fear for writing is stay away from social media. Okay. Now we all know that social media most times gives us or tends to show a perfect picture of things. Okay. So most times when you go on social media, what you're seeing is people that are already successful in what they are doing, people that seem to have perfect lives. Okay. And if you put so much time on social media, you tend to see people's perfection. Okay, and then that can really hurt you because you know that you're dealing with something that is no that is not perfect. So stay away from social media for a while and find a way to face your fears. Okay. And the next way that you can face your fear, so that you can overcome your fear, is to learn to ignore doubt, like ignore the doubt. Now you know that you're afraid of something. Okay, you have this doubt in you, you have this fear in you, you feel insecure, inadequate, whatever it is you feel. Learn to ignore. Okay, like act like those doubts are not there, act like that fear is not there. Completely ignore the fear. Do not focus so much on your fears. Do not focus so much on your insecurities or inabilities. So learn to ignore the doubt and focus your energy on what makes you happy, on what you can achieve, on how to be better. Okay, that is one way that you can overcome your fears for writing. And another way for you to do that is to brainstorm before writing. Like you cannot just come and then start to write. Okay, think of what you want to write before time. Think on the topic, how you want to write it, make your research. Okay, with that you see that when you sit down to write, that the ideas will be flowing, words will be flowing. So learn to brainstorm and research before you attempt to actually begin to write. Now, these are ways that you can overcome your fears for writing. Now, one thing that you should put in mind is that a major difference between people that are successful and those that are not is fear. Fear can really stop you from doing a lot of things, okay? So try as much as possible to deal with every fear that comes to you, with everything that you've got. Now, fear is the major thing that is keeping you away from achieving a goal and keeping you away from being who you ought to be. So learn to deal with your fears, and I hope that this point I've shared with you will go a long way to help you to overcome those fears you have for writing. So please check out the link for the video where I talked about writer's block in the description, and do well to watch that video. It will really help you also to overcome your fears for writing. Now, I hope you learned quite a lot from this video. Please share this video with your friends, give this video a thumbs up, okay, and subscribe if you're new to this channel. So I'll be seeing you in my next video. For now, stay safe, be happy, and overcome those fears. Bye bye.